here's the interesting thing about CoQ10. If you have a high school age or college age person in your home or in your daily field of, or influence, it's an interesting question to pose to them. You can go up to this age group and you can say, what's the mitochondria of the cell? And every one of those students will tell you the mitochondria of the cell is the powerhouse of the cell. They're going to look at you funny. They're going to say, well, you're old, and why would you ask me that? But they're going to say it's the powerhouse of the cell. Even the kids that are not so bright and really not so sure they know why they're saying that. However, it seems like every physician in America has forgotten what the mitochondria are, because what happens at the mitochondria is that mitochondria in the cell takes in oxygen, which you have plenty of, blood sugar, which you have plenty of, and coenzyme Q10, which really happens to be the limiting factor. And those things go into the Krebs cycle, which cranks out the energy that your cells use. All your cells, it doesn't matter what cell it is. It can be a heart cell, an immune cell, a brain cell, a cell that grows hair, a cell that makes saliva, a cell that regulates hormones. That cell makes its own energy in the form of something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And that's where CoQ10 is so important. The interesting thing about CoQ10 is that what depletes CoQ10 is, number one, age. As you get older, CoQ10 levels drop. The other thing is there are medications that can lower CoQ10, particularly statin drugs. And it never ceases to amaze me when I see even a cardiologist who will prescribe a statin drug and not tell a patient they need to be on CoQ10. That is so common. I mean, it should be just automatic. Because it will drop coenzyme Q10. And just today, I had a 16-year-old patient right before I came on. As a matter of fact, I was a little bit worried I was going to be late. And we got his initial coenzyme Q10 level, and he is at 38% of where he should be at age 16. And that's only going to go down as he gets older. And on top of that, he had a genetic mutation that was resulting in him using only 1/2 of the major neurotransmitters he has. He can only metabolize 1/2 of his serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. So do you think at 16, you can only use 1/2 of your major neurotransmitters and you're giving your brain cells 38% of the energy they need? Is it any wonder that he's in my office?
Now, you coupled that, amongst other things, we had quercetin and other things in that product. We kept that in there, but you also suggested we add PQQ. What was the purpose of PQQ?
Well, PQQ is the only thing that is known, that I'm aware of, that's known, that will actually increase the density of the mitochondria. See, we've already identified the mitochondria as the powerhouse. It's the generator. It's the generator. The CoQ10, the blood sugar, the oxygen go into the generator and create the energy. Well, PQQ results in a denser, larger generator. And that actually makes your CoQ10 more efficient. So over time, these mitochondria will get denser, larger, and thus be able to do a much better job at providing cellular energy.
Excellent. Well, you said you wanted the best CoQ10 in the marketplace, and this would make it that way. And I think you've accomplished what your goal was.
Well, when I realized the impact that PQQ could have on the mitochondria, I mean, that became a no-brainer, no pun intended, to combine it with CoQ10. I mean, those should go hand in hand. I was amazed that that hasn't been a product on the marketplace before now.
So we're in. So that brings up my last question for you and close my part of this deal is a little history. What I know it was over 20 years ago. You were attracted to BodyWise. What attracted you to BodyWise?
You know, I was stubborn. I know you all have heard this story before, and I apologize for repeating it, but I'm actually able to be candid enough to tell you that I was the south end of a northbound cow. As a physician, I was a very arrogant UCSF board certified physician, and you couldn't tell me anything. And at the time, I had a family member who was suffering from a medical condition, and one of BodyWise's consultants, who was also a friend and not in the medical community, came up and said, have you tried vitamins? And I was extremely rude. And I said, those are worthless. I'm a physician. I know all about this. When in reality, we spend 1 hour in medical school on diet and nutrition and actually get lied to and get told that you can get all your nutrients from your diet. So that being said, she was gracious with me and she persisted. And at that time, she said, well, no, I can show you the credentials for the manufacturing facility. So I made her do it. At which time, I had no idea, no knowledge whatsoever of integrative medicine. So we got Dr. Cynthia Brown on the phone, and she gave us the disclaimer, I'm not your physician, this isn't treatment, on and on. Yes. And she gave us a regimen. And even then I was a little hesitant, said, well, BodyWise has an empty bottle guarantee, go for it. So I put the family member on this regimen. And that really confronted me, because at that point, that told me there were things that I didn't know. So I used BodyWise products as you may remember, I lost 150 pounds in 18 months with BodyWise products, got up on stage and pulled my old belt out and showed everybody. And but I also had so many successes with patients